Hi, it's me, Brodie McLeod again, making a completely useless YouTube video no one's ever going to watch about my journey through the psychiatric hurdles and miscommunications, mistakes, errors, and general sort of prejudicial orchestrated patterns of neglect and other things which actually are criminal but have been treated as a police professional standards department complaint because I've alerted them like 3 times and they've just ignored it and invited me to complain. They also, Avon and Somerset Police, have tried to put in a subject access request because I thought somebody might have phoned up and impersonated me, and it just so happened that when the SAR came through they'd accidentally forgotten to add the phone call recordings, which is a bizarre coincidence, and I don't know how that happened. I'm not wearing my sunglasses today. I'm not going to read you any AI bullshit either, but there's like a bit of a pattern emerging, and just wanted to talk about that really. So I had something called a Care Act assessment the other day. That's where you get a social worker and a community mental health nurse who works for the NHS Trust to meet with you and assess your needs in terms of housing, maybe supported accommodation, temporary accommodation, clinical placements, hospital transfers, whatever. The upshot of the meeting, which went very well, I was quite happy with the conduct and the amiable nature that the two blokes I met with about 2 weeks ago, they were both really sound, and they said, yeah, we'll go to the brokerage firm, which is sort of like a thing that the Integrated Care Board do, or the clinical commissioning group at the NHS, to make sure you secure funding for supported accommodation. When you leave mental hospital, there's a bit of legislation called Section 117, aftercare. So as you can imagine, housing, secure accommodation is one of the things that's stipulated in the aftercare package from a section, because there's no point in sectioning somebody and then putting them out homelessly onto the street, because it's not going to do their mental health very good, probably make it a lot worse. Anyway, like as soon as these dudes kind of arrived, they were like, look, you'll probably be out in about 3 weeks. Like, we'll get the funding within a couple of weeks, and you should have some supported accommodation placements in Bristol to look at anytime soon. Anyway, I got this new neighbour, or room very close to mine in the ward, and started playing really loud music at like ridiculous times in the morning. He had a massive Bluetooth speaker, and staff just sort of didn't do anything about it. They were just like totally calm with it, and like it got to the stage where I woke up like 2 nights or 3 nights, like at like 3 in the morning and like 2:30 in the morning, being like, bruv, can you turn your music down? And he just sort of stared me in the eyes as if I didn't exist, really sort of like intimidating and sort of like disparaging way. He's about 5 foot tall, like I'm 6'3". This guy's like kind of grossly overconfident, if nothing else, and just sort of ridiculous behaviour. Like, you've got a psychiatric ward, everyone's asleep, don't play. Like, I quite like his music. It's like reggae music that I'd love to listen to during the day, not so much while I'm trying to sleep. Anyway, eventually, after complaining about 3 times, they took the Bluetooth speaker away, and then he started using his iPhone. He's got quite a new iPhone. It's got a pretty fucking good speaker on it, and it's just sitting right outside my bedroom door with his legs crossed, playing this music constantly. At this point, he's got 2 staff sort of like watching him, because they know that he's aggravating me. And yeah, like if you try and speak to this guy, he does this thing of just shouting as loud as he fucking can right in my face. And it was the sort of thing that like anybody else probably would have just smashed the fucker in the face and kind of put him on his ass and, told him to suck it and see. I mean, I didn't do that. I wanted to, and like I felt really provoked. And that's kind of what I'm talking about today. It's this provocation pattern. So that didn't work. He eventually left his mobile phone playing for another like 3-4 days. And it was like I opened the door and like, he wasn't even there. It's just like there's a chair completely opposite my bedroom door with the mobile phone on it, just playing this music. And it's like, yeah, it's just like whenever I try to ask him about it, he just shouts and screams and just carries on in this kind of like completely ambivalent, arrogant, nonchalant way to kind of like disturb everyone on the ward. And like the staff don't seem to be consciously policing it. You know, they don't really, unless I say something loads of times, not once, not twice, but like 3 times, eventually they've done something about it. There's another dude that came into the hospital once. It was kind of deemed that I would be leaving in about 3 weeks. And he sort of came up to me. I was wearing my sunglasses, those pink ones. I'll show you the ones I mean. These ones. And he's like, so he comes up to me. He's tiny, this lad, as well. So it's sort of like, looks like the sort of guy that's like, he's like about 5 foot tall, weighs about 50 kilo. You know, really scrawny little lad. He's like, quite nice sunglasses they are, aren't they, mate? First thing he ever said to me, nice sunglasses, like, can I have them? And I was like, no, you can't have them. He's like, why can't I have them? I said, because they're mine. And he said, oh, right, if I took them off you, like, you'd probably punch me, wouldn't you, if I took those glasses off you? And I was like, well, no, mate, not necessarily, but it's not really the point. Like, and he just became, for the next like 48 hours, just the most antagonistic, annoying little prick. Like, I gave him like a toke on my vape, and he just like tried to half inch it, and the staff had to like prise it out of his hands to give it back. And he's just said loads of incendiary, kind of really provocative, insulting things to me. And like, yeah, it's just kind of really weird. Then there's this third dude, right, who's just arrived like today. And like last night, while I was on the phone to a mate of mine, came and started banging on my door, giving it loads of fucking verbal and aggro. And yeah, just like, I went to go and speak to him. Like 10 minutes later, I was like, hey bro, was that, it's like you knocking on my door? I kind of recognised his voice, and like, he's filling out some forms. It's like, no, I'm a bit busy now. So this morning in the breakfast queue, trying to have some breakfast, and like, this guy's kind of stood in front of me at the queue and starts talking to the guy serving breakfast all about his personal information. Turns around to me and says, you fucking eavesdropping on my conversation, are you, you cunt? So I was like, no, it's like, it's a public area, bruv. It's the kitchen. Like, there's 10 people, you know, 5 people trying to get their breakfast, mate. If you want to talk about your personal fucking shit, this isn't the place to do it. Like, you know, fucking pick a lane, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Don't like, and he was just really, really aggressive. Like, just called me a fat cunt and tried to body shame me, and then just got like a packet of like screwed up Weetabix and just threw them at the side of my face, got right in my face. And it was like, I've never punched a man in the face in my whole life, but it sort of feels like, I mean, anybody else in that situation would probably have chinned the guy. Do you know what I mean? It was just been really abusive, really kind of threatening, and yeah, just a total twat. And then like about an hour later, I was walking down the corridor, just where the corridors intersect in this ward. You can go sort of like down to the main fire exit in the garden, or left to the kitchen, and or back down to the rest of the ward, sort of set of cubicles, cell rooms. And he like got right up in my face. I was trying to walk down the corridor, and he like blocked me, and I like tried to go left, tried to go right, was like, excuse me mate, can I just get past? And he came right up into my face, like pushing his chest against mine, being like, nah, fuck you bruv, like, you know you fucking are, like, and then just like openly admitted to having raped my sister Lily Allen, like, to try and provoke me. And it's like, ever since I've been in this sort of like situation where all of a sudden, after 2 years in this hospital, there's like a cessation or a way out, or there's like people are looking for supported accommodation, all of a sudden there's some dickhead playing music in the middle of the night shouting my fucking name. There's some other guy that's just like, he's walked into my room like 3 times, like, all your stuff is mine, like, you know, just trying to, you know, and just said some ridiculous shit, and like just gobbing, just being a complete gobshite all the time, saying stuff that he knows is going to really offend me. And he's really small, just like the other guy's really small. You know, somebody that probably I would be not intimidated by, but probably quite likely to retaliate against. The third guy is a bit taller and a bit older than me, but equally as kind of like aggressive and completely out of line. And yeah, it just sort of seems like as soon as there's a light at the end of the tunnel, suddenly this pattern of like provocation and completely unwarranted abuse. Like, I've been nothing but polite to all these people, and they're just kind of like trying to provoke me into kind of like having an incident, because they know that that's going to either delay my discharge or put me into a smaller bracket for housing where I've got a higher risk management element. And it's like, after all the problems I've had at this hospital and all the kind of shit I've been through, like, it just seems like they're literally kind of like, the service users are just, it feels probably delusional bullshit, but it sort of feels like they're being tasked with doing their level best to try and provoke me into making the first move, you know, and kind of like becoming violent when I'm not a violent guy. And yeah, it's just really fucked up. And it's like, it's not the first person that did it. It was like, yeah, fair enough, he's just a twat. And then it's like, you know, but it took my authority to say, can you stop him from playing music at fucking 4 a.m. with a massive Bluetooth speaker? Then he's doing it with his phone, and I'm like, can you stop him? Like, the corridors are really echoey in this place. It's laminate wood flooring, and there's these windows, observation windows in the doors, that you can't see, because yeah, those windows there, which are made out of like toughened glass, so the corridors are like a proper echo chamber. Like, the sound really carries. And yeah, then there was this third guy today that was like, if I wasn't in a mental hospital and there wasn't like a segregation unit, I definitely would have probably pushed him, potentially knocked him out. And like, if someone did that to me in the street, you know, like, I did martial arts when I was younger. I'm not a violent guy, but like, I don't take shit off of people who are fucking complete wankers. Do you know what I mean? Like, and yeah, it's like 3 different guys in the space of a week and a half have all been sort of coordinating this